Hey guys, it's freakishly cold in the UK, so I'm wearing some weird scuba turtleneck vibe. I wanted to give like a final update on the Caustic character, since I've basically gotten the gear as good as I'm going to get it without just spamming Harvest 24/7, and I've cleared everything in the game except for the Feared, because I can't get a natural Cortex to spawn. When I eventually get one on a different character, I'll record a boss kill on this, but this is pretty much done. I just thought I'd run over the gear that I had at the time of killing everything, give some suggestions on what I would have crafted if I had access to it, and talk about some future build stuff, stuff I'll be planning to do next. I never got the multi-mod thing unlocked from Pale Council. They've just nerfed property chains really hard in SSF, and I just haven't seen it happen. If I did, I would have finished crafting this bow, which means I did everything on just a +3 with crafted chaos damage every time multiplier. I think you could probably get away with doing everything on just a +3. It would be noticeable, but a +3 with chaos.multi is enough to do absolutely everything. Double.multi is overkill, +5 bows, massive overkill, +5, then with synth implicit +1, crazy overkill. We also never got the Divine Flesh. Ran a bunch of Domain of Time's conflicts, it just never dropped. The idea for this build, originally one of the big inspos of doing this build in the first place over like a different ascendancy, is thanks to Withering Presence getting a bunch of Chaos Res, shove a Divine Flesh here, convert Pain Achievement, and then convert a bunch of incoming elemental and physical damage into Chaos for a bunch of additional mitigation. You can stack maximum Chaos Res through Hunter Gear and through Cluster Jewels, so the idea was to get 90 maximum Chaos Res and then convert all of my incoming damage, and then have Acro, Phase Acro, and Wind Dancer alongside the mitigation from 10% from Frigid Wake and 10% from Malediction to have a very robust and tanky character, which would then have loads of natural regen through just passive life regen on the tree, Surging Vitalities, and then Enduring Cry. But none of that happened, but it wasn't needed. I did everything without it. If I had that, it would just be like, you could then push it to like deeper delves and make it more hardcore friendly. As for the tree, this is basically locked in. If you wanted to cut a bunch of defense, you could shove a second cluster jewel setup up here. I don't think it's necessary though, considering there's lots of gear min max I'm missing, and I could do everything just fine. We only had a +1 Ami in the end. We never got a +2. We also never got a +2 with dot multi. We never had dot multi gloves, and we never got a double damage over time quiver. We did have the ideal links, no woke gems, but we did have the 21 Caustic, and we did have the level 4 empower though. So yeah, if you had woke gems, you could push it much further. We did have a 21 Bane, but we were running Bane, Despair, Temp Chains, Enhance, and damage felt fine. I did level up a bunch of Essence Drains, trying to get level 21. But I never actually felt like I needed the extra damage. If you want to see any of my boss kill footage, there's loads of it up on the channel. This is just going to be me talking over gear stuff. The room to min-max gear. So I did get the Delve mod, Fizz damage taken as Chaos, which is nice. You can also get this as a Hunter mod on chest pieces, which is very nice. And the Ellie as Chaos is from the Divine Flesh, but we never got that. The idea was to get the Divine Flesh running, and then get a Hunter chest piece, roll that with as much life as possible, and then have Fizz damage taken as Chaos, and then stack up some max Chaos Res through Cluster Jewels, Quivers, and then Hunter mods. We ended up just using these because they gave resistances. We needed strength on 2 pieces of gear, so I had that on my belt, which isn't anything special, and I had it on this ring, which was literally, I just Alt-Org Regaled this. We set it up to be multi-mod crafted later on, but we just never got multi-mods. My other ring was also just % life implicit from the Vermilion, and then just tier 1 life. Basically just get life on as many pieces of gear as you can. We did have a good life chest piece, but you can get better. And we only had 70 life here, and we only had 70 life here. So that's a lot of missing flat life there. So I think 6.5k life with, you know, properly rolled gear, stuff like proper min-maxed, and then using like catalysts on rings and stuff to eke it up. I think 6 to 6.5k is like the natural kind of balance point. Also worth keeping in mind, I was missing 16% life on the tree, but I felt comfortable with 6k, so I didn't need to push it. So yeah. I would recommend getting the mana regen craft, not craft enchant on boots. I did also end up running a level 5 Arcane Surge in my like utility setup, just because I felt like I didn't need a 5-link Bane, and the Arcane Surge and the Boot Enchant meant I never had any mana issues, even on maps which reduced my mana regen, which was very nice. And yeah, it just meant I never had to worry. It also meant if I want to use something like Arrow Nova or GMP for open or closed maps, it would help out. Big open maps, stuff like Legions, run Arrow Nova. Really tight indoor maps, if you haven't got any additional arrow stuff on your gear, maybe try messing around with GMP. I found it was decent. I had enough damage that I could run GMP, and yes, that's basically it gear-wise. We never got a good enough cluster jewel to replace this down to save 2 skill points. If you wanted to change stuff about the tree, these points were just there because I needed the resistances. They're decent anyway because it gives you max cold res and it gives some chance to evade, which is very nice. I do like this node because it's 1 pierce, 20% damage for 2 points. I like this full cluster. My finished skill tree, assuming we got to cut 2 points from here. This floating point was just, it was a good 1-pointer because I had an odd level of points from being 95. Would go here. These points I'd save. These points I'd save. That would be 4 points there. Then eventually take like Toxic Strikes for 45% damage for 2 points. Or fill in life if you felt like you need more life. That's basically that. So I will do a proper written guide on this character, which will come out in the next couple of weeks. I've been quite busy IRL. So yeah, when I have the time, I'll start working on that. If you have any questions about the build, leave them down below. I'll do my best to cover them. But TLDR, you can do all the content in the game on a +3 bow with Chaos Multi, with a +1 Ami, and a single damage over time quiver. You can get much, much better gear without crazy investment. In a trade league, you at the very least could get a double multi-bow pretty easily, and maybe just a +1 Ami, but you could definitely get like a double multi-quiver. I think at the very least in a trade league, you could get multi gloves and a better bow without too much effort, and then everything else you could match very easily. For SSF, I think it's a very realistic build. It's solid. You don't need the empowers. There are different link options you can use instead. But let's talk about future builds. So I have got some interesting items, and this is also where I need your input on. We got a Pledge of Hands from my last set of Timeless Domain stuff. Seems like a bit of a waste not to use the Pledge of Hands, so if you've got any cool Pledge of Hand suggestions, leave them down below. We also got this Skin of the Lords, which is pretty usable colours actually, with 3 blue, 2 green, 1 red. If you've got any good skill suggestions for that, leave them down below. This has Wicked Ward on it, which is pretty usable as far as random key nodes go, so there's definitely something I could do with that. We got a 21 Vol Fireball. Very nice. Fireball is a build I enjoy quite a lot. And we have a Lethal Pride, so if I want to do some like Chain Breaker stuff, that's definitely an option. I've got a bunch of random gear which supports doing Mind Over Matter stuff. We've got a Crown, we've got a Carnal with the Mana Enchant, which is high enough item level that I could roll the Mind Over Matter effect stuff on there. We've got some Tier 1 mana, Tier 1 Fire Multi Gloves, which you can just craft life on. We've got these, which is the Vial to get the Incursion Mana Boots, which gives you Onslaught and Dodge and Spell Dodge, which is very, very nice. A bunch of just random stuff otherwise. I've got this random junk from Maven, which is actually kind of usable. Getting the damage from enemies so you use Unlucky, and then take next damage from critical strikes is kind of worth just running a magic ring. I mean, I'm basically just running a magic ring here. So, you know, you can make that kind of work for you. Do I have anything else which is like super like, wow, this is cool? Got a Corraletos, but I don't really want to do any more poison stuff, since if I do get any Chaos Harvest crafts, I'll just throw it into this character anyway. Lightning and Presence. Voice of the Storm. We have a Zoth, so I also have upgrades for that. I've got a Black Flame. We've got a Herald of Ash, Circle of Anguish. We've got an Ember Wake. I have got a Stormfire. Claws, nothing fancy. Daggers. Have got a cold iron point. I've also got like a million of these. These became really common. Nothing fancy for wands. Any fancy sword stuff? I have a dream. I have an itchy banji. Meh. Axes. Nothing that I really want to play. Maces. Nothing that I really want to play. I could upgrade the Zoth bow. Have the brand staff, which is decent, maybe. If you're, it's not bad. No, no. Belts. I have the chain thing, which is nah. Have a soul tether, which is nice. Have Shaper's Touch. Hand of the Fervent. Bad Roll Face Breakers. Boots. Rainbow Stride, 7th Step. Meh. Have a Joffrey's. Have an Incandescent Heart. Got a Lion Eyes. Got a Snowblind, which I could upgrade. Helms. I've got an Ancient Skull, which is the new minion stuff. Mask of the Tribunal. Stat stacking in SSF is a bit yikes. Got a Vertex. Also got a Formless Flame. I have the stuff to upgrade it. Shields. I've got loads of max res stuff. Nothing too fancy. Jewels. Do I have anything good? I've got a whole bunch of Skelly stuff. I've also got the Skelly Mages. Oh, I got a Megalomaniac, which is kind of neat, but it hasn't got very good nodes. Grand Design, Expert Sabotage, and Scintillating Idea. Like, Skin and Expert Sabotage, maybe? I don't know, they don't have very good synergy, but yeah, I've got a Megalomaniac, which is kind of cool for SSF. Oh, I've also got a Primordial Might. So, I don't know, I've got some interesting-ish things. I think. Yeah, I don't know. If you see anything in there which you think could be cool, it's like, oh, that grabs my fancy Tarke, play that. I've also got a 6-link Carcass Jack. Could do like Carcass Jack, Pledge of Hands. Something. I've also got good gear to do a bleed character, because I've got the Pride Reservation Gull, and I have got the Elder Bow, which I would have to roll, but we have the Elder, which is high enough level to do bleed stuff, so I could do bleed bow with Gull. Could be an option. Could be an option. So, yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think. If you've got any cool suggestions for me. I'm Tarke. Have a good day. Bye-bye.